In this video, we'll be discussing the top 10 best decks in Marvel Snap from a win rate and cube rate perspective. Also, if you're interested in scoring some of those recently announced Twitch drops, be sure to follow my Twitch down below, guys. I'm going to be live, I'm going to be getting you those Twitch drops, and it's going to be a ton of fun on October 18th, and well, the week after as well. So I look forward to seeing you on Twitch TV. With that being said, let's get started with deck number one. Deck number one, Silky Smooth, running a 63% win rate. This has been a deck that has been very consistent in the meta, and the addition of Elsa Bloodstone has done nothing but make it even more formidable. When you have a card like Elsa, which allows you to synergize with pretty much everything in this deck, it just performs wonderfully because, you know, you got the Jeff, you got the Nightcrawler, you have the Silk, Spider-Man, everything likes to go in and go out, including Vision as well. The newly nerfed 6/3 Alioth is here in the deck, but honestly, it's totally fine. It still does the thing that it's supposed to do. It just deletes someone's cards or whatever if you have gained initiative. So Alioth, a good card in this deck. Silky Smooth holding the number one spot. Then we have two evolutionary base decks. And guess what? They're basically the stock evolutionary list. With the nerf to Alioth, you've seen the win rate of the Alioth-based evolutionary decks actually retreat ever so slightly, to the point that the classic one featuring Doctor Doom, Chavez, and Hulk is actually the top win rate ones once again. So we've seen a bit of a reset here. That nerf actually made a difference on Alioth, because Alioth was just being slotted into these decks, and now it's actually a slightly lower win rate than these ones here. Now, this is standard evolutionary at a 61% win rate, and near matching it, like decimal points difference, is debuff evolutionary, which surprised me because with Man-Thing's release, this deck would be easily countered by something like a Luke Cage, which is what you're seeing a lot of during the initial kind of hype of Man-Thing. But I think Man-Thing's hype has kind of dwindled very quickly. There's one deck worth talking about, but other than that, you know, this deck is kind of being countered just because people were kind of scared about Man-Thing, but now that that is kind of starting to move along the side there, that you're going to see this win rate start to elevate once again as Luke Cage starts to kind of lower in popularity. So debuff evolutionary, a good call, currently number 3, but I expect it to be number 2 next week. Then we have Shuri Sauron, 61%. Shuri Sauron got nerfed, Shuri going from a 4-2 to a 4-1, but it doesn't really make a difference. Shuri still doubles the points of whatever the heck you throw on top of her, and quite frankly, that is enough to usually win a ton of games. It's a very straightforward play pattern. You really only need like 3 or 4 cards in your hand to win. It just goes so vertical, so hard, and unfortunately, people still aren't playing Shang-Chi, so Shuri Sauron still remaining one of the absolute top tier choices in Marvel Snap. Now, here's an interesting one. Loki completely fell off last week, and to the point it was seeing almost no play rate. The win rates were kind of suspect, and now slowly but surely it's making its way back. At a 59% win rate, this is a very good win rate, and it's actually incorporating Elsa Bloodstone. It's utilizing, of course, the Kitty Pryde based synergy with Angela. You have the Jeff in there as well, but it's just a good list. It's just a good list straight up, and that's what's kind of propelling it. I think what's also happening here is you're seeing about a 6% decrease in the Mobius and Mobius meta share over last week. It was running about a 32-33% meta share last week, and now it's about 25, which is a significant difference. It's 1 in 3 games versus 1 in 4. So you have more of an opportunity to actually truly take advantage of Loki. And as Conquest starts to heat up, as more people get to Infinite, the prevalence of Mobius and Mobius might actually reduce even further, giving Loki some additional room to breathe. So Loki is back. Now, at a 59% win rate, this is the highest win rate version of On Reveal in the current meta. There's been a lot of experimentation out there, and I think that's really exciting with the newly buffed Tiger Spirit. But at the end of the day, this deck absolutely slaps, and it's interesting to see Iceman making a list with Mobius and Mobius in 25% of decks, but nonetheless, this is the one. You throw down the Ebony Maw, and then you essentially kind of own a location that you can access with the White Tiger, Wong, and Odin. What's interesting is if you just straight up go, Ironheart, Wong, White Tiger, Odin, as you shoot out the Tigers, the Ironheart's going to proc and generate a lot of value as well, obviously in the order that you've played, but it's going to be wild how much kind of power can be put out with that additional power to the White Tiger, because each additional Tiger is basically additional power, and if you're throwing the Odin on top, then you're just multiplying that additional power for every single Tiger that hits the board. So it's quite awesome. Love it. 59% win rate, because apparently Cosmo doesn't exist. And then we go on to Manhawk. Now, this is the best Man-Thing deck available in the current meta. Very interesting brew here. I like the idea of using the disruption-based elements of the newly buffed Black Widow, Korg, Rockslide. It's classic disruption. But the utilization of Man-Thing here is a pretty interesting thing. You're also running the Luke Cage. I like how it has multiple kind of win styles here, because you have the Luke Cage Man-Thing style. You are running the Shang-Chi. Now, Zabu is risky into Mobius and Mobius. It would make this deck really, really risky in something like a Conquest. But ultimately, you are running the Doctor Doom on the top end, and you know, it's just a good list. It's just a good list at a 58% win rate. It is by far the best performing Man-Thing deck out there. If you're interested in trying Man-Thing, and of course the newly buffed Black Widow. You got the tech for the Luke Cage. The Rogues steal their Luke Cage if they happen to have it themselves. Now, moving on, we do have Sarah Control running a 58% win rate. Sarah Control has been a kind of staple in the meta since, I don't know, January of this year. It's been pretty consistent. I've only not spoken about Sarah Control in a handful of videos. It's kind of fallen off slightly, but right now at an Elsa Bloodstone 58%, Elsa has kind of revolutionized, or kind of rejuvenated, I should say, the Sarah Control list, simply because, you know, Mysterio, Bishop, Hitmonkey, they all love this Elsa Bloodstone style play, and if you can slam Kitty Pryde Angela into the deck, then you're just laughing. Really, this is like a Elsa Bloodstone list that just runs Sarah and provides you with a miracle style turn 6, right? And what's nice about it is that if they play Mobius and Mobius, then you know you're not playing a beast, you're not doing any balance, you just don't play your Sarah, you play like a regular Elsa deck. Yes, it's not as efficient, but it's still damn good, right? So it's pretty interesting how this deck actually performs well. Now, I've been playing a version of this, but I've been actually including Chavez, just because I tend to like Chavez, but this is the highest win rate meta version available for Sarah Control. Then we go to Elsa Glenny Stone, 57%. This is one of the most popular decks in the meta. It still remains so from a play rate perspective. I think people are just happy to be playing cards like Yellow Jacket, Jane Foster, and others that really haven't seen much play. And this is, again, one of the best Elsa Bloodstone based decks. Now, I know we're showing a lot of Elsa-based decks in this particular video, but it is the Season Pass card. It's pretty fair and it's pretty applicable across multiple different archetypes. So I think you're going to see Elsa quite a bit in the future as well, because it's just a natural inclusion in a lot of different decks, especially if Angela Kitty Pryde continues to be as good as it is. So Elsa Glenny Stone, you know, there's no surprises there. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite decks in the current meta right now, a 58% win rate. This is Guardians Lockdown. This is from WSnap. Awesome brew. I think it's great. The nerf to Alioth has not taken much off of it. This is one of those decks that really just like showcases how good Alioth is at maintaining initiative and kind of just owning with that initiative. You know, you storm a location, you follow up with Drax, and you have the Gamora, the Goliath, you have the Doom. It's just, the whole thing feels great to play, and it's also refreshing to play a deck without, like, you know, every meta card. I get to play Drax here, you know, Mooster Fantastic. Look at this, we got a Mooster Fantastic. So anyways, it's a great deck. I encourage you to give it a shot if you haven't already, and if you've not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me as a content creator, because it just helps YouTube just ever so slightly be a little less weird and show you my videos anytime they are available. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for watching this video. Got another one somewhere on the screen if you want to see some more Marvel Snap content. But until then, we'll see you in that next Marvel Snap video.